this meeting to order. Alice is present, Robert's present, Phil's present, and I'm Bob. Has everyone had a chance to review the last minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
No.
Need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to accept the minutes.
A second.
I'll second.
Would the petitioner, Mr. Green, come forward, please? And just give us an idea of what you're wanting to do. Do you have all your green cards?
So when I sent these out, I told them that they needed to be certified. We never got anything back. I just
Can-
have what we sent.
Can
Sorry.
you say your name?
Michelle James.
Can I have what you, and you did put your ad in the paper?
Yes, I have that affidavit as well. if you-
Okay, well, may we have that also, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So correct me if this is wrong, you're wishing to build a pole barn on your property,
Correct.
and you're wanting to run your business out of this pole barn?
We just wanna be able to store the equipment in the pole barn.
Storing?
Yes,
What would you store there?
just, I have a, bucket truck and chipper.
So all the equipment that is in the yard now would be in that pole
Yes.
barn, but you would not be running your,
No, I don't have any customers come to my house. I don't,
His business is basically a remote business. No customers come to him. While it's the same as anyone that works for Metronet Sparklight, they bring their company vehicle home and park it in their driveway on the street. It's the same with Wes and his bucket truck. It just comes to his home and that's where it's parked.
so customers will not be coming in and out?
Correct.
correct.
And what is the time frame on which you come in and out? What's a typical?
When I leave the house, is that what you
Yes.
mean? I usually leave around 8:30, and we're usually back in by 3, 4 o'clock,
Okay.
normal operating business hours.
Are you the only one that gets the equipment?
I have one guy that helps me, he's not full-time or nothing, I'm mainly by myself.
Okay, and
I don't have any employees that show up at the house.
How do we, what would be your business address? Are you on Facebook or
I don't advertise.
you don't have anything?
I use my residential
So
address.
basically, if you're sending out a bill, it would have your home address as
Correct.
where to mail the payment. That's what I'm trying to get
Correct,
at.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it since, 2020.
you have various pieces of equipment now, is that correct?
Yes, I have, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 pieces of equipment.
How many of those pieces would you use at a job you might be doing tomorrow or next week?
Probably 4 or 5 pieces.
Okay, so, and you come back and get each one of them, you don't have an employee bring them?
Well, I have a part-time guy that comes, he helps me when I need him.
Okay. Where does he park when he picks
He
the
parks
equipment?
at the house.
Okay.
I actually drove by there today. I wanted to come up and look in your driveway, but I didn't. You never know. And it looks like there's some form of equipment setting to the right.
Correct.
And is that what, like a?
It's a stump grinder.
Okay.
There was a stump grinder sitting there today, and I think, there's a chipper that I have that's broke down.
Okay.
We've been given some information from area residents. So they're expressing a concern, or maybe an ongoing concern, I'm not sure. But it has to do with large equipment like this. Any of this equipment is going to be making quite a bit of noise backing up. Is that an issue, or is that true?
Not that I know of.
It beeps when it backs up, like a large vehicle does.
Right,
but-
like a large piece of machinery. Do
But
they
it's-
all do that, or?
I mean, the bucket truck does.
And what, okay, so usually as a general rule, you leave the house to go to work at what time?
Normally, like I said, between 8 and 8:30.
So it's not any earlier than that?
No. I mean, the trash truck that runs down the road's louder than what my truck is. Or the UPS guy, or the FedEx guy that's
Sure,
flies by the house every day.
Yes.
I mean, that, I don't,
I have a question. I forget who asked you how many pieces of equipment you had. I think you said 2.
I've got 5 pieces.
Oh, okay, then I'm not sure what I heard. Okay. That's what I was wondering, because they look like bigger equipment.
When I drove by, I saw some equipment over on the right. And then I saw some, looked like to be logs off to the right also. Did I see that correctly?
We burn firewood there at the
Okay,
house.
I understand. I was just, but I didn't see a large amount of equipment. I just saw some equipment. What else do you have to bring to us?
But we aren't the only business on the block.
I mean, we're not the only business on the block. I mean, if we're going there.
Okay,
I mean, we have a guy that drives past our house every day that has the name on the side of his truck. He pulls an enclosed trailer on the side of his, I mean, it's got the name on the side of his trailer. There's another guy that has a business down there on the left, a computer business.
a computer business? Okay,
So, I mean, I don't know why anybody has any issue with my business. I mean,
Well-
I don't know who the complaints are, but I've worked for about everybody on that street that I live on.
Well, I know, Colt Michaels, when he wrote this, he says, and he wrote it to you, as you know, my office has received multiple complaints related to your tree removal business, Green Tree Service LLC. This business is registered at your home address. I understand there's no public office at this location and customers do not visit. Though there is minimal business activity on the property, the primary complaints boil down to storage of business-related equipment at your residence, which includes a bucket truck, sorry, I didn't see this earlier,
Yes,
dump
sir.
truck, skid steer, trailers, etc. Other complaints include the equipment being driven or hauled on the public streets and the storage of a limited amount of timber and cut wood, which you stated is for your personal firewood. Proposed pole barn garage will be used to store some of your business equipment in addition to personal items as well. This will remove some of your equipment from the site of neighboring properties and partially remedy some of the complaints. So basically, he's saying there's multiple complaints, and I don't know who they're all from either.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I have a letter from one of our neighbors that couldn't make it tonight, if you guys
Sure.
want that.
Well, I know on one of my visits to your location, I saw some of the people then here and saw a young lady walking her dog, and she said you were very cordial and very polite. So, I mean, that was not a negative thing
Right.
about what you do. I've also talked to some others that, well, they'll view their opinions on it. We just wanna make sure that what we do is in accordance to what we are allowed to do.
One of my concerns, if I lived in the neighborhood, would be, not the fact that the building is going up, because you can build the building, but if it were used for, some of the large equipment, I would be very concerned that it would reduce the marketable value of my home. And if I needed to sell it, or chose to move, my property would not be worth, what it might be now. How would you respond to that?
So while this building would be larger than your typical garage, there is other people on our block that have barns for storage. So we wouldn't be the only one. I mean, so I don't know how it would,
But are they using it to store stuff for their business?
I don't know what's in it.
So
We don't worry about what other people have.
You haven't seen things come in and out of the buildings? So they're.
Well, we're the first house on our block, so no, we typically don't go down and,
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing, because even if they have big things for storage, is there large equipment going in and out? Because that would, I mean, it would be noisy, some level of noise.
She also mentioned that the UPS truck with FedEx truck is there all the time too, so.
It runs past our house every day, 2 and 3 times a day, flying by the house. I mean, like I said, it's louder than what I coming in and out. And I don't run my truck every
and
day
the
either.
school bus flies down our street every day, trash truck once a week.
Couple different trash trucks.
Yeah, that's right.
Should we hear from?
Do you folks have anything else that you want to state?
I guess no, I don't, unless you wanna ask about
What's that?
like other
I
people.
mean, if you do, this is your chance to state
Right.
your,
I mean, so they're saying I can't run a business out of my residential home, right? That I have no customers coming to. The only thing I'm gonna have is equipment parked at my home. I mean, you can drive around and you can see people that park their equipment at their houses. Trucks, utility trucks and stuff like that, with names on the side of them.
Are the
I don't know
garages?
what
Go
it is.
ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, there's home-based businesses and then there's home-based businesses. I mean, people sometimes have offices in their house and
See, we don't even
nothing
have that.
happens. Well, that's my point. I mean, nobody even knows it's there, like it's not, creating any kind of a disturbance in the neighborhood.
So what about people that have like salons at their house, that
That's
actually do
not-
have,
That's not what's going on.
okay,
I don't think we should bring it up as far as this meeting. I did wanna say here, my concern, or the concern that Area Plan has, which he said that the barn did everything it should. And he referred this matter to the Board of Zoning Appeals, us, to consider the proposed usage of the garage and general storage of equipment at the property at home, as a home occupation and conditional use. And then we make a determination, I can make a determination on whether it constitutes a home occupation. If so, whether it substantially changes the character of the neighborhood or permanently injures the appropriate use of neighboring residential properties. So that's what we have to look at.
I think I included at least one picture of what the barn would look like. It's gonna match our house, and so I don't see how that could lower anyone's property value.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a
I've
picture
seen
here.
it, yes.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that.
I would say 14 to 16 feet high walls, probably.
Yes, yes.
But the barn's not the only, or the storage, whatever, isn't the only issue. That's, so we have to look at all of it.
Do you have anything else that you,
No,
okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to come forward and, at this time, and
Come up to the podium, state your name and where you live.
Rick Lindenberg, my wife Debbie, these are our neighbors and friends. We live right next door at 2707 Marion Drive. These folks that are over here with us are opposing the operation there. Let me give you just a brief history of our neighborhood. We ourselves have lived there since the mid-'80s. It's a cul-de-sac. You said most of you have been by there. It's quiet. It's families with children that live there. We raised our whole family there. It's all single-family residents. And the neighborhood does have character, and I heard somebody else use that word up here already tonight. And just one example of that is last Christmas, one of our neighbors thought it'd be nice to put up 10-foot Santas in all of our front yards, line the street with it. And you know, everyone did that. And if you read the written material that I submitted earlier, along with some others, Wesley is a really good guy. Wesley Green is a really good guy. But that's not what we're here for tonight. We all get along. And again, Wesley is a really good guy. So what does R1 mean to us? You know, it's a single-family detached home on a single lot, intended to preserve the character of an established neighborhood, which we are certainly established, and a place you want to raise your family, as many of us have, and some neighbors are doing. What it doesn't mean to us, what R1 doesn't mean to us, it's not a commercial business operation with heavy commercial equipment moving around, stored there with ingress, and egress all the time. Hiding some of the commercial equipment in the large 40 by 48 barn, it's just out of place in the neighborhood. We won't talk much about the building, but we have a little bit tonight. You know, 40 by 48 building, I did a little bit of math today. With the 12 or 14-foot sidewalls, you gotta add 7 foot to that for the eaves, for the roof. So we're talking a 20-foot high structure in our neighborhood. That's almost twice as high, not quite, but almost twice as high as existing homes and garages there. They'd have to have large doors on it certainly to get this equipment out. And I did some more math today. A building that size would hold 4 1/2 48-foot semi-trailers. It would hold 16 Chevrolet Suburbans. I'm just trying to put some scope, you know, to the building here. And it's proposed to be erected on the back side of his lot, which is the back side of my lot, and that's the lowest part of either one of us ground, and when it rains, water already pools there, and I didn't see any of Colt Michael's stuff, any drainage plan or watershed plan at all. We do not have storm sewers in our neighbor, although we do pay the stormwater fee or tax. And in short, it just doesn't fit. And I talked a little bit about ingress and egress and how this equipment gets in and out. Wesley has already trimmed trees along Marion Drive between Kimball Road and his driveway to get the limbs out of the street so his equipment could pass down through there. We talked a little bit, I heard you ask about backup alarms. I think most of his equipment does have backup alarms, which they're there for safety purposes. Maybe some of it does not, and operating without is a safety concern. There's little kids in our neighborhood. And I would think that moving the equipment in and out of the shed, jockeying it around to get everything to fit in there, would maybe double the backing up and turning around needed to get in there. And in my opinion, Wesley has flat outgrown his current lot. He currently uses the lot with a home on it at the corner of Kimball Road and Marion Drive, I'm sure with permission from the owner, it's an abandoned, not an abandoned house, but it's a vacant house, for some of his storage. He has a dump truck, he has a dump trailer, he has a trailer to haul his track hoe around on, his skid steer loader. Some of this equipment comes and goes. I'm sure as his business expands and contracts seasonally, he has different stuff. I can remember having a 10-wheeler, old, I would say vintage 70s or maybe 80s, 10-wheeler without a bed on it in the backyard for weeks. He has a tracked excavator. I'm sure there's pictures of it. I'm sure you saw it if you were there. And as you've already said, the business is registered at that address. It just doesn't fit. We all bought there for a reason. I don't know if Ken Snyder's here. He's a certified general appraiser. He was going to, if needed, talk about values, but I'm sure you folks hear that all the time, and that's really not the issue here, although, you know, it's ever present. We request with vigor that you turn down this request and return our neighborhood back to the R1 that it has always been. Thank you. If you have any questions of me, I'll be glad to try to answer them.
You have any questions?
No,
No, I don't
No,
for
this
him.
time
I
there.
just wondered, should we not read this into the record, this letter from a neighbor?
Yes.
This is from Tim and Natalie Graves. I assume they're not going to be here?
Correct.
My husband and I would like to give our input regarding Mr. Wesley Green's approval to build a pole barn on his property at 2703 Marion Drive, Vincent, Indiana. We're Mr. Green's neighbors who live directly across the street from him at 2700 Marion Drive. Mr. Green is a very kind, respectful young man who has proven himself to be an excellent neighbor. He has readily offered and provided us help during our time of need. This much-needed help has come in the form of helping to clean up our property following storms which have taken out trees. He has removed limbs and other debris that have presented safety issues to us and others on our property. We are not in the least concerned with his future plans to build a pole barn to house his equipment. In our opinion, his tree removal business is an asset to our neighborhood. His customers do not visit our street, and for as long as he has lived here, his equipment has not posed any issues in terms of traffic or us being able to enter or leave our driveway. Thank you for consideration. That's all I wanted, just to read it into the record.
Is there anyone else that would you please state your name for the record once you get up there?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is David Culp, and I'd like to introduce my wife over there, Carol. And like to actually take off some notes in the letter that I submitted on this behalf, that we appreciate what you as members of the BZA do, and Mr. Chairman, appreciate you running the meeting this evening, and Inspector, we appreciate what you do to try to help our neighborhood stay like it was from long time ago.
Thank you.
And I'll just paraphrase some items out of this. This letter is in the reference to a formal referral to the Vincennes BZA from Mr. Colt Michaels, Executive Director of KCAP. It's regarding a R1 single-family residence located at 2703 Marion Drive, Vincennes. It is a narrow street starting at Kimmel Road and ends in a cul-de-sac. The petitioner knew the climate and zoning laws of the neighborhood before he bought it a few years ago. A neighborhood filled with homeowners taking pride in their assets, children playing, a lot of times in the streets with bicycles, tricycles, strollers, all of those type things. The petitioner chose to buy one of the 13 homes on this street and now is trying to change our neighborhood to meet his business plans. No other freestanding commercial established are infringing on our street or the 5 other streets located in our area. Marion Drive is an inappropriate location to choose for a commercial tree trimming business and a large commercial garage to store 4-wheel vehicles. The subject property already has a dedicated 3-car garage that is made of the same material that the house is, limestone. The subject property already has a driveway, a cement driveway, but this new garage will have another driveway. We don't have any other neighborhood, any other houses in our neighborhood that has 2 driveways. One to this supposedly large other garage. I haven't seen any other garage. I've seen sheds where people put their boats or small boats or those type things, but nothing commercial nor anything that is out of order for what our neighborhood is trying to preserve. There are 2 challenges with developing this R1 property residence. One is the fact that continually this, and you can call it a home business, but it has enough equipment and noise, and also we have a fireplace and we burn about 4 cords of wood a year, and when we do, it puts out smoke so we can see that it's burning. I just don't see that much smoke coming from that end of town, and I know one day that chainsaw ran all day, and that's a heck of a lot of firewood, at least for one house. And that was before the tree was cut down and made additional firewood. This was, what's happening is, in my opinion, is that if you have a tree trimming business, you're going to have ample supply of firewood when you cut someone's tree down. So just bring it to your house and saw it up, and then you can sell that. But what it does to your neighborhood is you get people who are really excited about chainsaw running all day so they can cut firewood. The 2 points, the one is on the commercial business, and if the commercial business wasn't there, there would be no need for this size of garage. So kind of one goes with the other. Those 2 points invalidate the reason to have city zoning laws to protect single-family residences. This business disputes the fabric of our current and future neighborhood. The other thing is, I mentioned the noise of chainsaws, and I have held a real estate license since 1985, and I worked for over 30 years at local banks doing nothing but house loans. So I do know from my background how values of homes are established by what is in the vicinity as that home. And I would hate to try to sell our house that we've been at for 46 years, and we actually had it built to our design, and we've been there that long. And I do know that it's gonna shock the price of everybody's house on that street if you allow this commercial business to still exist on Marion Drive. My wife and I are proud and honored to have lived on Marion Drive to raise our 3 sons. We have great neighbors. We appreciate the work and assistance on Marion Drive from the BZA and Mr. Michaels and other people who have gone out and inspected it and those type things. I do want to say something about the bricklayer in our neighborhood. I think everybody can own a pickup and have their name on the side of it and not be degrading to the neighborhood. This person, since it's been brought up here, not by me, but someone else, but I'm going to kind of piggy-tail on it. This gentleman has a regular pickup, and it has his name on it, and it's no problem for what he does. Doesn't create as much noise as big vehicles that put out a lot of noise when they grind and chip and all that stuff. I can also see that in the city of Vincennes, like other cities, we have rules for folks that live in the city to abide by. If I lived in the rural area, I could do whatever I wanted to do, basically, with the property that I would own. And that's not the case. When you move to the city, you've got to fit in where with whatever you want to do fits. And basically, this does not fit on Marion Drive. It's why we chose that property 26 years ago. Because, and we actually did, we could have bought there, or we could have bought over on Monroe City Road, about half a block from Kimmel Road. But if it wasn't for folks dedicated as you are to do this, then the rules to establish a community would be done away with. And that's why we moved to, not moved to the city, that's why we live in the city. It's the only place we've ever lived. And I know it's a tough decision. I sat there in those same chairs and made a lot of tough decisions in a long time ago, 12 years. And I'm asking you now, please do not let our homes be affected by letting things enter our community, our street, that should not be there in the first place. Now, I also know that there's people not here who don't really want to stand up for their rights, or they chose not to. So there's more folks that are not willing to have this come into our Marion Drive, but you know how it is sometimes. Things are based on emotions and not on facts. And that's what, I can't say we, I'm speaking for myself, but I think a lot of us have the same ideas of what would be acceptable in a city and what would not be. And if you can help us keep our community the way it is, it would be appreciated. Thank you very much for this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that wishes to come forward and speak?
Hey, before you do, can I ask a question, Brad? How long did you say you've been doing this?
I started buying equipment in 2019, actually. We fired up, I think, 2020, April, when we had the big storm.
And where
I've
were
had
you,
equipment ever since then.
where were you living?
Same,
Where were you living when it started?
where I'm at right now. I've been there since
Okay.
2017, I think.
So
Yes.
you've had all this equipment there since that point
And
in
I don't
time?
plan on getting any bigger or nothing like that. I may upgrade, get rid of a piece of equipment to get a nicer piece of equipment, that'd be an idea. So,
Yeah, I was just trying to get to the point that, find out how long this has been going on, and
going on 6 years.
so, okay. And you said my other portion just now.
Sorry about that.
Yes. Sorry about that, sir. Come on ahead.
I don't have near as much to say, but I'll say a little something. So my name is Barry Morrison, Mac Morrison, as a lot of people know me. I live at 2711 Marion Drive, and I hate that this is a black and white kind of situation. You're either for it or you're against it. And if my feet were held to the fire, I'm gonna have to say I'm against the zoning change. And I've got a couple little remarks here as to why. First off, ladies and gentlemen of the board, I appreciate this opportunity to share some brief thoughts about this current zoning situation. Although I haven't lived in our neighborhood for as long as some of the households represented here, I appreciate our neighborhood for what it is and has been for many, many years. A quiet cul-de-sac street with well-kept homes and friendly neighbors. My wife, Maria Morrison, and myself are against any zoning changes to the property at 2703 Marion Drive. We are against the idea of a residential property in our neighborhood being utilized for commercial purposes. I say this in hopes that it doesn't get misconstrued as us being against Wes or his business. We were glad to see his business doing so well. I feel the neighborhood has turned somewhat of a blind eye to the steady growth of equipment and activity because they agree with me in some capacity. We're glad to see Wes succeed. I mean, no doubt about that. I sincerely hope Wes's business continues to grow and continues to thrive. I just prefer that his residential property not be used in a commercial capacity and that business growth and operations could occur elsewhere. Thank you very much for your time.
Could you say your name again,
My name
please?
is Barry Morrison. I live at 2711 Marion Drive. I'm Rick's neighbor, so 2 houses down.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And the equipment and everything else that he brings out, in and out, does that affect or bother you in any manner?
We hear it. We see it. You know, I've heard a lot of wood cutting going on. Maybe not so much recently, but it's happened. I mean, there's no bones about that.
But did it bother you?
I don't like seeing, honestly, I don't like seeing it all, I don't like seeing it out. The building is not an issue in this meeting, so I can't make any remarks to that. But, yeah, it bothers me.
Say whatever you want.
Well, I understand that he wants to build a building to put his equipment into,
So that would alleviate that problem.
but the building itself is gonna be would have to be a sizable building for, the equipment he has, and I have a little pole barn myself on my property, so, maybe I don't have as much of a argument there, but I just store a little boat and some other things in it. It's a very small pole barn. I got, Mr. Lindenberg's approval before I even submitted got with the area planning or whatever.
Building
So,
permit.
cleared it with the neighborhood before I even started the process. But yeah, I would say, yeah, I'm not a fan of it being out there and seeing the activity and whatnot. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm glad to see he's doing well. You know, any entrepreneur, you gotta respect them.
Anything you use, that you store in your pole barn, do you use for a commercial
No,
business?
sir, no, it's all personal use. A boat, a personal watercraft, a little junky tractor that I've used to keep the driveway at my house cleaned up, and I think a bicycle is all that's kept in that barn. So, no commercial equipment.
Anybody else have any questions for him?
No.
Good,
Thank you.
thank you.
Am I able to add something? So, a lot of people have referenced that, the chainsaw is going. Yes, because we were preparing, we didn't know we were gonna have to go through such a hassle to try and build a barn. So there were 2 big trees in the backyard that we did cut down. Yes, it took, 2 or 3 days to get those down. And then after that, across the street and a couple of houses down, I don't know who it is, was to cut down a couple of trees for them. So other than that, at our house, there's no chainsaws running. I mean, we use either an axe or a wood splitter to cut the wood for our fireplace. So on a typical day or week,
It's not an
month.
everyday occurrence?
Correct.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything to say? Dave?
I would like to really object to that noise statement. Matter of fact, his wife even told me one day, making fun of him, that she was tired of hearing the chainsaw running so much. And I'm telling you, there's outside work being brought in and logs have been brought in and been sawed up. So just imagine if you had a tree trimming business, you would probably bring in outside logs to be cut up to sell. We can't burn that much firewood, so anyway, thank you for letting me.
We do burn a lot of firewood. We have electric heat.
Hang on.
We have electric heat, we burn firewood.
Okay, we need to, folks, we need to limit it to whoever's going to come up and talk at the microphone, please. If you wanna say something, come up here, say your name, where you live, and then start talking.
I'm Colton Hostetler. I don't live in the neighborhood. I have the same kind of business as Wes. He's a good friend of mine, but we're competitors and, you know, in the same industry. I've been through about the same thing he's going through right now at my last residence on, you know, parking things, you know, in the yard or whatnot. Them not liking to view it. None of it's junk. It's all working, nice equipment. I'm speaking about Wes's stuff. The barn that he's gonna build is gonna alleviate most of the problems that they're stating, or they don't like to see the commercial equipment. Well, when the barn's up, that stuff's gonna be in it. Now, is it gonna come in and out of the driveway the same amount as if it's in the barn or out of the barn? Yeah, but, I mean, if he's got it in the barn, they're not gonna see it. It's gonna look like a normal house with a large garage next to it. There's nothing illegal about having a pole barn or a garage, you know, next to your house. As far as like the backup beepers go and whatnot, as Wes said, school buses, trash trucks, delivery trucks, all make the same noise, and I bet if they asked him, he'd probably unplug them all, and they wouldn't hear the backup beepers. Then, you know, just normal vehicles running. But I can testify that he uses his fireplace the entire winter, like it doesn't shut off. So even if there's not smoke coming out of his chimney, I can vouch that he's using it. I've never known him to sell an ounce of firewood. The wood he brings in there, he splits and burns it in his fireplace. I've never known him to burn it outside even, you know, a big bonfire or anything. It's always been used in the fireplace. He doesn't do anything outside of business hours, like he says. I mean, he could start at 7 in the morning, he could come in at 8 o'clock at night, but he doesn't. So I just here kind of backing him a little bit, coming from a similar scenario. He's just trying to make a living and do his job and not bother anybody. So that's all I've got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for him?
I don't.
Does anybody else have anything they wish to bring forth? No one,
Is there anybody here for or against that wants to speak?
we have a gentleman coming in now. But none of you have anything that you want to address or state? Sir, do you have anything you wish to address the board with? Dave, if you want to come back up, please.
We have 13 houses on our street. How quick do you think the school bus goes down, come back? How quick do you think UPS goes down and come back? They're not there all the time. They're in and out. Don't be comparing drop-offs to all day. And don't tell me also that the vehicles are gonna stay either in the garage or on a job site somewhere. That's not going to be the case. The equipment is gonna be out of the barn at times when it's just sitting there, not in the barn. And I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions to that? Yeah, Dave?
No, not for
Okay.
Dave, just for the Greens.
Can one of you go up?
Do I?
You have a question for the
Yes.
petitioner?
Well, and it's not necessary to
Okay.
come up, I don't think, is it?
We have to be able to
Okay,
hear.
all right, yes. I understand that owning and operating a business is very difficult. I've done it myself. So I know, not sleeping at night and getting things together. However, the concerns of the group over here are valid also. And those concerns that I just kind of listed, fears of safety for their families and children with large equipment, moving about daily, with an active business losing property value. Did you anticipate at all having an objection to you doing this?
We had no idea, I had no idea that it was a zoning or a commercial. I thought we were here for just the barn,
Well,
honestly.
Just to set it straight, someone also talked about zoning. We're not changing any zoning here.
Okay, good. That's what we
At all.
didn't want that.
No, it's still gonna stay R1.
Okay, so like, we had no idea that there was a question of whether or not he could continue to run his business from his residential location or not. We had no idea.
Okay. If, you didn't talk to any of the other neighbors, and I don't know, I'm not saying ask permission, but try to work out any issues?
We didn't know we had any issues with them as far as the equipment and,
Other than when we went to get the building permit, they said that there were complaints, but they were anonymous complaints, so we had no idea. And again, we pay taxes, it's our property, we didn't realize that we needed the whole block's permission to build a barn.
Would you be willing to meet with representatives of the group to work out any issues or details about, so that we would answer and take care of their concerns?
I'm just wondering how it's gonna devalue the properties. I mean, if you put a $50,000 barn down on a piece of property, how's it gonna make it go down? I mean, it's gonna be a nice storage shed.
Well, I think Mr. Culp was addressing it as his experience in real estate.
Yeah.
And his opinion was that it would be a detriment. I'm the assessor. My opinion is you're going to pay more money.
Yeah.
I don't think they have seen any, pictures of what it would look like either, so maybe if they knew, they wouldn't be so opposed. Well, yes, it's going to be a large building, it's going to match our home as well as we can.
Has one of the questions that was stated, or one of the statements that was made, has any child ever been endangered, or has there ever been any child's safety been jeopardized by the equipment?
By your equipment.
Not to our knowledge.
Dave, do you know of any? Rick?
I just know it's a walkable neighborhood, people walk the dogs, the kids.
Right.
And everything, so I don't know, if there hasn't been an accident, someone you don't know, certainly not.
I would have thought if there was something, you would have heard of it, you know. They almost got me, you know.
And they had brought up me, trimming the trees. I mean, right there at the beginning of, I don't know.
Right as
if
you
you've
turn
been-
off of Kimmel onto
Yes.
Marion Drive. It's not
mean-
just for him.
I mean, the school buses were dragging through there. I mean, that's how low the limbs, I mean, nobody lives there, nobody takes care of it. And yes, I did trim the trees right there.
What'd you do with
And I
what you
think
had
one
left?
of our other neighbors,
What'd you do with what would you do with the remainder?
With like the limbs that he trimmed off?
Yeah.
What'd you do with the trim?
I put them on the side of the road for the city to pick up.
Thank you. Did you get paid?
No, I did not.
This has nothing.
Thank you.
I understand, I wanted to know if you had discussed it, and had addressed the concerns for and with the neighbors.
They didn't know of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Like I said earlier, we all like Wesley Green. Some of our other neighbors would probably come here tonight if we all didn't like Wesley Green. We do. That's not the issue. To run a commercial operation, whether it's hidden in this barn that doesn't fit the neighborhood decor in any way, shape, or form, or out there, makes no difference. So we either have to protect family dwellings or bring commercial businesses to R1 residents, in my mind.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
And not that this would happen, but hypothetically speaking, this structure, what if it was constructed and painted so that it would fit in the neighborhood?
The height of it alone would make it a sore thumb in the neighborhood.
So
regardless of what it's
it wouldn't matter the color or the appearance, it's just the size?
And we're not talking about the building here, we're talking about the operation there.
Right.
And his business, I'm glad he's got a great business. He's helped almost everyone on the street. We all like Wesley Green. I was in business for 40 years here, and I never brought my commercial equipment home and set it in the driveway, and I had need to do that a time or two, but I wouldn't even think about doing it. But times are a little different now, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
any way that we can, the four of us can get together and have a discussion before this goes any further?
Or table it for another time period?
You could do either one.
Can we have just a few minutes to talk,
I could take you back to the conference room there in the mayor's.
please?
You okay
Is
with
that
everybody?
fine with you folks?
As long as you don't make any decision after you serve the conference. I mean, the way I understand the law, maybe it's different now. I chair several committees and stuff, and we could always conference.
I don't think we're wanting to make any decision, I think we're just wanting to.
That's fine.
Is that what you wanna do? Okay. Is that okay with you too? She would like to do that, meet for a second.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Whatever's legal.
We did have a discussion that was concerning the definition of a home occupancy.
And what we were reviewing was, section 152.043, subsection C7 of the zoning ordinance establishes a home occupation as a conditional use of the R1 district, which requires approval from the Vincennes Board of Zoning Appeals during a public hearing, which obviously this is. Section 152.004 defines a home occupation as any use conducted within a dwelling or appropriate accessory building and participated in solely by members of the family, which use is clearly incidental and secondary to the use of the property for residential purpose and does not change the character thereof. So that's what we were reviewing in our discussion. So how do we wanna proceed, gentlemen?
Read the rest of that too, please.
Oh, what, the second part?
Yeah, no,
Okay, then the rest of that is, no commodity shall be sold upon the premises except that which is produced thereon or essential and incidental to the services offered. In no event shall a two-station barbershop, two-station beauty shop, restaurant, animal hospital, commercial warehouse, or similar uses including junkyards or major automotive repair be construed as a home occupation. So that's what we were taking a look at, we wanted a few minutes to be able to do that.
The part about, that says what will not be, is pretty close to what we have potentially here, which would be a commercial warehouse, basically storage, commercial storage, warehouse, whatever. I think the other part was that it be participated in solely by members of the family, et cetera. And I believe, Phil, you mentioned that Mr. Green stated that there was,
An employee.
an employer helper.
part-time.
And I think, my opinion is, unfortunately, I think that it does not fit home occupation. And therefore would not be allowed.
So do we need a motion?
I wanna know if anybody agrees with me or disagrees.
Yeah.
Up here.
Oh, I agree with your assessment.
Yes.
Yes. Need a motion from you, please.
I have to make a motion to, deny the home occupation, variance for this instance,
Based upon definition.
based upon the information that we just read to you and what we've heard here tonight.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
And yes,
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but this just will not work in this instance. If you can get with your neighbors and talk to them and come up with a solution that you're happy with, cause it's your business, your money, your investment, not theirs. But they also have an investment in their neighborhood, your neighborhood also. This is a very, very difficult thing for us to,
So the barn's approved, right?
Yes.
as long as
But-
you get a permit,
I've already got.
but that would be,
You
you
have
know,
to get one
Colt
from my
Michaels.
office too, the city inspector's office. But with it being denied, if, say, Colt comes out and he sees any of that equipment in that barn, he'll probably get a lawyer, or a letter from the county's attorney, just to make things clear.
I'm just confused. I mean, if the barn's approved, that's what the director does, barn,
The barn meets all
the
criteria,
criteria.
but the business doesn't.
And we had no idea that this
Yeah, I
was even
didn't-
part of the meeting,
Yeah, I had no idea either.
kind of blindsided.
I mean, I understand your point, it's gone on for a long time, and it hasn't really been brought to the forefront. And I understand your,
And there's other businesses running out of residential, so how do you, I just don't get it. But thank you guys, appreciate it. I mean, they had no problem using my services. I guess they got what they need done. Yeah, you did.
Okay, folks.
That's it.
Make a
Motion to
motion to
adjourn.
adjourn. Make a
Second.
motion to adjourn.
Got it?
Okay.
Second.
Okay, second.
All in favor?